everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 10 of 13 Days of Halloween. I'm Erin, and for today's video we are going to be talking about the Wendigo. Now, the Wendigo is what would be known as a cryptid. I did want to make sure I included a cryptid in my 13 Days of Halloween because I find the whole thing of cryptozoology very fascinating. If you don't know what cryptozoology is, it is essentially kind of like the study of monsters. Bigfoot is a cryptid, the Mothman is a cryptid, the Jersey Devil is a cryptid, and I would definitely like to start doing more videos on cryptids. So if you're interested in hearing some more about cryptids and cryptozoology, make sure you hit the like button. But as I said, today we're talking about the Wendigo. Now, the Wendigo started to intrigue me, and it was like the first time I had actually heard specifically about the Wendigo when I had done a Reddit no sleep story that included a portion that essentially these two boys had an encounter with a Wendigo and made it out alive. Now, I'm going to be honest and say that initially I thought that a Wendigo and a skinwalker were the same thing. There are a lot of similarities between the two, but they are two different cryptids. At least that's what I would say. Now, what is a Wendigo? The Wendigo is a man-eating or evil spirit rooted in folklore from Native Americans. Now, there are various different tribes who have different takes and different stories about the Wendigo, but it is mostly found in the tribes that are Algonquin. The Wendigo is often described as a monster with some characteristics of a human, or a spirit who has possessed a human being and made them monstrous. So, pretty scary creature. Now, you may be wondering where the Wendigo can be found. Now, as I said, this is mostly found in folklore and stories from the Algonquins. So traditionally, the Wendigo can be found in Canada, as well as northern states near Canada, such as, Minnesota, Montana, places like that. Places where it gets really cold in the winter, essentially. Now, it's said that the name Wendigo actually means evil spirit that devours mankind. Now, the whole devouring mankind thing ties in with the characteristics that are often found with Wendigos. The Wendigo is said to have an insatiable appetite for human flesh. However, it seems that no matter how much they eat human flesh, they're still hungry. So that brings us to what the Wendigo looks like. So this insatiable appetite and always being hungry ties in with their appearance as well. Often Wendigos are noted to be very gaunt or skinny. So therefore their hunger is kind of reflected in their appearance because they're often emaciated, like I said. Now, Wendigos are not your average height. It's not like a zombie rolling around that is human size. They're actually said to be pretty exceptionally tall. More often than not, they're at least 14 feet tall. So as far as the rest of their appearance goes, they tend to have glowing eyes, long, sharp fangs, as well as long tongues. Now, there are some variations when it comes to what they look like. Some say that they have a loose yellow skin, and others say that they're covered in matted fur or they actually have decaying flesh. Now, there are varying stories when it comes to how Wendigos came about. The first legend says that Wendigos were once humans. It's said that they are formed into Wendigos after they have performed cannibalism. Now, this cannibalism doesn't necessarily have to be like somebody being malicious in eating somebody else. It could be cannibalism that is done in order to survive. So even if you eat someone else in order to survive, you still have the potential to turn into a Wendigo. Now, once a person has committed cannibalism, it is believed that they are overcome by evil spirits, and that's when they transform into the Wendigo. Now, another legend states that Wendigos were formed when a warrior made a deal with the devil. It is said that in order to save his tribe, he gave his soul up and was turned into a Wendigo. So those are a couple different stories about how Wendigos came about. Now, there are some who believe that once a person is transformed into the Wendigo, that they are actually still a part of the Wendigo, but kind of frozen almost. And that you can find the human that turned into a Wendigo kind of in the heart region of the Wendigo. There are also varying stories on how you can kill a Wendigo. More often than not, it is said that the person that resides inside the Wendigo has to die in order for the whole Wendigo to die. Now, there are some stories that claim that once you kill the Wendigo, essentially killing the person inside, that the person in fact comes out of the frozen state and is actually freed from the Wendigo. Now, there have been many spottings of the Wendigo over time. Now, obviously these sightings have gone from way back to more recently. Some say that when Wendigo sightings start happening in an area, then an unexpected death is going to occur. And they don't mean the person that sees it is going to die, they just mean, similar to the Mothman, that when Wendigo spottings start, that often things start to kind of go awry in the area that they are found in. Now, I found a couple different stories about true Wendigo sightings. I also found a few YouTube videos that supposedly show Wendigo sightings. There were two that I found intriguing, so I'm going to show those to you guys. There are others that are out there, but they're a little more hokey and fake to me. These two seemed the most plausible, but then again, they could be fake too. Who knows? Take a look at this first one.
There's nothing.
You wanna go back? I saw a bat.
Yeah.
Shh. What? What is it?
Sounds like it's on the other side.
What?
No, where we first came in. Yeah, it's back there.
Shh.
Yeah, turn the light off.
What is that?
Turn the light on. Sounds like it's in the corner.
What the fuck is that? Shit! Which way's the exit? Which way's the exit?
Sounds like it's in the corner.
Now, the only thing that has me on the fence about this first one is that the noises that this Wendigo is making are similar to a pig. Now, clearly what they show that they say is the Wendigo does not look like a pig, but I've also heard of folklore where there's like a demon-like creature that looks like a pig. There's various things that go with this. Obviously, they made it out of the house and they are alive, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have the YouTube video. But yeah, that one I'm kind of on the fence about. Now this next one I think is a lot more plausible. Take a look.
Well, you've been sharpening it for like 2 hours.
No.
You hear something?
No. The dog.
Okay.
Probably shy though.
You're not gonna take pictures now. Well, you've been sharpening it for like 2 hours.
No. No.
You hear something?
So, I don't know what the heck that thing was that was crawling in the background there that they had like enhanced and what have you, but it moves creepily and it looks creepy, and I just think it's a pretty darn scary video. Now, in my research, I had also seen a court case where somebody had blamed their whole premise for murdering somebody on the fact that the person was turning into a Wendigo. I mean, obviously I don't think the judge is going to take into effect that somebody thought that somebody was turning into a Wendigo, but I suppose it was a good shot. I mean, maybe the person was turning into a Wendigo. I don't know. I didn't really look into the case that much, but I thought it was interesting that that was somebody's defense for murdering somebody else. Yeah, but like I said, there's been sightings and spottings and stories of these Wendigo for a very long time. And obviously, these spottings have spread out too. They're not necessarily all found in cold regions. I did find a video that was supposedly from Iraq. So Wendigo are found all around the world essentially now. It's just it's more popular and more likely to be spotted supposedly in these colder climates, especially where around the Algonquin tribes are. So what do you think? Is the Wendigo real? Is the Wendigo not real? I keep an open mind when it comes to cryptids. I haven't seen them, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There are plenty of things out there that exist that I haven't seen, that I have no idea about. So I keep an open mind when it comes to such things. I think that an encounter with one of these would be terrifying, obviously. But yeah, what do you guys think? But that is it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give me a big old thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!